And once again, a massive thank you to all of our supporters over at patreon.com/878 Survivor FM. Our $10 supporters, Scale Speeder Gaming, Dick Donovan and Kenny Baker, and our two $25 supporters, Jake Snow and twitch.tv/Red Freedom 3739. Thank you for your support, and we hope you all enjoy the show. We're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And welcome to episode 66 of the DayZ podcast. We are joined today, as usual, by Marks. How you doing, buddy?
Doing wonderful. Hope you're all doing well.
Good to see you again, mate. And in his first show, and apparently nervous as hell because I have that effect on people with my stunning good looks. Lad, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, just. No, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Sadly, neither of our guests for the Players episode have turned up. Red Freedom did message me earlier in the week saying something came up family-wise, I think it was, so he wouldn't be able to make it. And Dr. V93 is just MIA. So if he joins us, we'll get him in. But sadly, Players are missing out on a voice this week. So doesn't matter. We've still got lots and lots to talk about, as always, don't we, Marks?
Oh, yeah. Always something to keep us going.
And as Ike said in chat, welcome to Dorkville. Population us sincerely, Mayor Boydie. Ike's feeling particularly spicy today. Hey, Dorks. Hey, buddy. How you doing? So I wanted to start off with something we were discussing in chat before the show actually started. Lad, you were discussing the Xdk server.
Yes. We as I was saying before, we started our next alpha run yesterday, and so far it's gone pretty good. We're getting some good feedbacks and some obviously mixed feedback. Just for everybody who doesn't know what Xdk is, it is an interpretation of the best elements of Tarkov in DayZ. And the way that we are trying to build on it is that every weekend we are going to be opening alpha runs for our players to test our systems, like our hideout system and how our maps function and whatnot. And then once all our core features is in place and it's working properly, we move on to a beta phase, which means that the servers are open constantly. So anyone can come in and have a look and play as usual. And so far, it's doing really fucking well. We were very surprised in how well it's took off. Considering there's other servers out there like Rearmed. I believe, Marks, you've done a video on them as well. Yeah. You know how they've been doing kind of something similar in the past, but Designful from Rearmed is also working with us as well. And it's really, really, really fucking cool.
But even if that just by itself, having the two of those biggest Tarkov servers out there at the moment, putting their ideas together, I mean,
yeah,
it's a win-win situation, right?
It really is. There's been a lot of really insightful ideas being, tossed around, and not a banana, the absolute bloody saint that he is. He's been doing really, really top-notch work, especially with the hideout system. I wouldn't have been able to fucking do it. Not a chance. I'm useless at coding. I focus more on the modeling, texturing side and soundscapes side kind of stuff. Yeah. But yeah, so Don, he's been doing videos about it. We had another stream called Gecko Fish and Exclusion. We've had Rav players on it. And, we've had a lot of really, really cool players coming in, playing, giving us a lot of, feedback and whatnot. And
so it's still pretty much in alpha or beta then?
Yeah, we're still in the alpha phase right now. We're probably going to be shutting down on Monday to work on bug fixes, to reevaluate kind of the stuff that we've done, obviously based on the user feedback that we get. So yes, that's kind of how we do it. We want to make sure that every single time we have the server open for players, that it's a fun and enjoyable experience. And the last thing we want to do is just push a random project out there and it falls flat on its face. We want to try and generate a little bit of hype. We want to try and generate, you know, that kind of like anticipation, but have something really unique. Like Cafiana, he's been implementing systems that's gone into his EOS mod, into Xdk, like the snow clutter that Chinaris is going to have. But yeah, it's pretty goddamn good, to be fair.
I did like what Tacos wrote in chat. In alpha state, just like DayZ is still.
Yeah, you know, some things never die. But
So what's been
but
some of
yeah,
the major
so,
hurdles you guys have had so far?
the hideout was recently one of them. We wanted to try and create the perfect blend, because obviously in Escape from Tarkov, you have your dedicated hideout system, and you can do all sorts of stuff with that. Obviously, with DayZ, you're very limited with that kind of space. And trying to create that kind of system while also creating all the different kind of maps, because eventually we will run out of space, because the way it functions, it's one giant map. And it's like a bunch of mini maps plotted around. And how do I put it? It's just trying to get all of that working together in one. There's also, you know, the issues of like some of the mods that we're using, some of the weapon mods that we're using. They're not really compatible with, say, like S Gunplay, for example, which is, by the way, a fucking fantastic mod. It is sublime.
Yeah.
And that's a hurdle that we're having to face right now. Trying to get, obviously, the traders to work in the perfect way is very difficult. Because obviously players, they all want different things. They all want like everything in one trader, and some players, you know, they want they want like progression, and we're kind of going for that kind of thing. We want progression. We want players to feel like every single time they go on, there's more stuff to do. So that's kind of like what we're trying to achieve, and it is very difficult. It is very difficult, but as I said to Caf before, we'll get there. We'll get there in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's this about elevators?
Oh yes. Okay, so the elevators is kind of like one of our major features that goes to the hideout. So instead of like in Tarkov, you have a menu where you just like go to hideout. In Xdk, in the Trader City, you have access to an elevator room.
And that's where
like
Don is now, in the Trader City?
Yeah, in the video, yeah. So, and the elevators, they assign a stash to your Steam ID. And when you go inside, the elevator doors shut. And then after a few seconds, you get teleported to your hideout. Then the elevator doors open, and you then in your hideout, you got access to your stash. And the whole concept behind it is we wanted to try and have a seamless transition between the Trader City and your hideout. And so far, not many, if any, servers have done that successfully. You know, the brains behind all of that system was not a banana. Like I said, I can't give that man credit enough for it. But obviously it's, even that's like in early stages. We're still trying to make it a little bit more better in terms of like functionality and whatnot. Because the way that it works is that you can have a group come with you, or you can go solo. And if you have like a whole bunch of people you don't want in your elevator, you just punch, you know, descend solo. It kicks everyone the fuck out of your elevator, and it just takes you to the hideout. So we have anti-griefing kind of stuff in there as well, which is something our players really, really wanted.
Now, buddy, just so you know, in the video that you're watching of Daone, it doesn't, when he made that video, and would have been around the same time I made mine, this elevator system and stuff wasn't implemented.
Yep.
In that version of the build, just so you know. I One thing I just thought of as well, because I was watching Pestilli just before this play Tarkov, and
Yeah.
I know from watching him in Tarkov that when you go to your hideout, there is a part where you can go to a shooting range to test maybe an attachment or a gun or something like that. Something like that would be quite cool to see in the hideout on DayZ. I don't know if it's even possible, but where you could say buy a certain gun and you wanted to test the recon stuff with the S gunplay mod, because most people mightn't be familiar with that mod. Could be something cool to do.
Yeah, we have talked about having a firing range, and we've even talked about how we would kind of like implement it. Because the way that we like to do things as much as possible, we like to create as much custom assets to make it more unique and whatnot. So we want to do that at some point, but it's not on our priority right now.
Yeah.
Maybe probably is in the beta phase, we'll have like a separate section where you can go in, you can, try out your attachments and whatnot, and have somewhere dedicated to obviously test everything before you go out into your raids. So yeah, we'll eventually get there.
Yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be cool to see at some stage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've spent a lot of time, we've spent a lot of effort on it, and recently we opened up our third server, based in the US, because there was a lot of love from our American players, and servers, they're expensive to run, so we ran a campaign. It was just like, right, if you want a US server, we're completely open and transparent. This is how much it costs. If you want it, you're gonna have to donate for it. And within like a couple of days, it was done. And we were like, right, there you go, guys. Have fun.
Happy days.
And yeah, and I think not this alpha run, but the last one, all of our servers were fully pop. There was like queues in the 20s and 30s. People were just raring to get on. People were complaining in the Discord that they were waiting hours and hours to get into the server. And it was like, shit.
Yeah, that happens. It was the same way. The exact same thing happened with Rearmed when my video on their server exploded. But there was 100 slot servers and there was a 70 player queue. People were waiting 4 hours to get into the server. And some people would wait the 4 hours, get into server, and their game would crash. Then you had to start all over again. It's like, oh my god, that must be just terrible.
Yeah, it is absolutely horrible. And obviously, I wish I could be like, right, just get in, have fun, but you can't do that. You just have to be patient.
Is there going to be a priority queue thing set up whenever it hits beta?
There already is.
There's
already a priority queue. Yeah, so you can donate to get priority queue. At the moment, it's a permanent priority queue until we reach beta. Once we reach beta, then it's a monthly kind of phase for the priority queue. We want to try. We want to try and make like the those kind of like perks really like good and unique as well. So we're still like working on that as well. But again, we're not in it for the money or at all. Calf literally like he advertised the project when he first started working on it, and I was like, right, I'm fucking in.
Yeah.
And eventually, more and more people came in, and it's so far it's going really, really well. I can't really complain at all about it. Calf's got a really good fucking idea going on, and it's not possible without the players and without the development team and the staff team. The staff team, they've been doing absolutely God's work the past couple of days. So, props to them. So if any of them watching, well done.
Yeah.
I might have to give this a try. Are there any servers in the AU area, or is it the best for us will be US?
So we have 2 EU servers and 1 US server. We have expressed interest to open a server in kind of like the Australian Asian region, but we'll get to that like as time goes on. And the development obviously increases. Once I start my new job in July, I'll be donating and trying to push for that kind of server because, you know, we've got something good here and we want as many players to come on and play it and just experience it.
No, it doesn't look too bad. You know, Don's in Australia and he seems to be doing okay here. I'm guessing he's playing on the US server.
I believe he plays on the EU server.
That would
because
be
Lord.
EU,
yeah. I play primarily EU, obviously, because, you know, based in the UK. And, you know, I've seen him on there a couple of times. Haven't met him in game yet, but I have seen him in like the player lists and whatnot. And so far, yeah, he seems to be really enjoying it. You know, a lot of other content creators have been really enjoying it, which has been, you know, really nice. You know, as a developer, you know, you spend a lot of time in working on, you know, projects and whatnot for like a server, and you never know if people's going to like it or not, because you might absolutely love the idea, but if the players don't like it, then obviously it's got to be reworked. But so far, it's been really, really good.
Oh yeah, and you can even tell that from the server pop. You know, full servers constantly. It's great.
Will you be adding AI once those tools are available?
Maybe. No, yes, we are. We are going to be adding. The plan is to make AI patrols in the flatlands, like around the airfield area. And what Kath and I we've discussed in the past is that we want it so when you get detected by the AI patrols, the whole base goes on alert. You know, sirens start blaring. You know, all the AI start fucking rush towards your last known position and whatnot. So
that would be cool. That was one thing I was thinking of. Is just having sirens, whether it be at airfield or somewhere like that. I think that the server that needs sirens because that happened. Tarkov has a lot of that stuff. I think, don't they? Certain sirens, certain things go off and stuff.
Yeah, so
just
we
more.
Want to try and we want to kind of because obviously there's a lot of servers out there that is like, you know, full on rush. You know, players rush everyone just. Kit up as quick as possible. We want to try and promote a more slower paced gameplay, which is why we have like S-Visual, S-Gunplay, stuff like that. We're constantly rebalancing our loot to try and like focus on more centered areas, and we want to try and make players' lives like mean a little bit more. So, you know, when you first start on the server, you've literally got nothing. You have one free passport to the flatlands. If you mess up, there you go. You mess up. Yeah, you kind of in trouble. And obviously, you know, every time you spawn, you know, you do get that passport. But at the same time, like if you've got nothing in your ATMs, you got nothing in your hideout, then it's just going to get more and more difficult. And eventually, you'll kind of learn because we don't have maps. We don't have party mods. We don't have anything like that. So you are learning the map and the systems old school. Which
So what happens if you die? Like if Don was to die now, what happens? Can he respawn in the...
Yeah, so you would respawn back in the Trader City and you'd basically restart the raid again. Unlike Tarkov, there's no time limit for your raids. So the raid can go on forever. We aren't interested in trying to create like a timed section for that kind of stuff because with DayZ it's incredibly difficult to do something like that. So we're not going to try and implement something like that. At least on the PvP aspect, I do have ideas for a PvE, but we'll see what happens about that one. We'll see what happens there.
See, Don just got himself a kill there. So that other guy loses everything and he's back with nothing in the player city.
Yeah. And we have dog tags as well. At the moment, they're kind of just like for sure, like, you know, you're collecting like your enemy dog tags and whatnot. In the future, we're going to be making it so you can sell them, but their value increases depending on how long you've been alive. So if you've only been alive for a few minutes, cheap as fuck, virtually no value. But if you've been alive for like a week or two, then that value really starts to go up. So you
That's
kind of
interesting.
like, yeah, that's the concept that we have. Obviously, we're still in the phase of trying to get that working and whatnot. Hopefully, we can have that done at least in the beta phase. But we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see how that goes. We've still got loads of items we want to try and implement, and at some point we'll be phasing out our weapon mods with our own. Banana and I will be importing our own guns, and well, I can't make guns, but Kaf can, so we'll be making our own, importing our own. I'll be doing textures, and we'll be trying to replace everything with our own because it's just so much easier to work with in that regard, especially for like optics and whatnot.
I would say if you are replacing your own guns and maybe at some point down the road getting rid of all these different gun mods, it'd be cool to see more unique guns that you don't see in every server. You know, every server is like they all have their 50 cals, they all have their AKs and their M4s and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like have them, but have maybe some unique pieces as well would be really cool to see. That's what I think a lot of servers these days are missing, are unique weapons.
Yeah, definitely. And I want to address that, but quickly I just want to address Ike D's question. Are there any legal concerns with Battlestate?
Yeah, I was going to get to that one.
No, there's no concerns like that. We're not trying to, rip them off directly. We obviously, we admit we are heavily inspired by what they're doing, but we're not going to go outright as to completely rip them off one by one. At the end of the day, it's a free mod on DayZ. It would be a different matter entirely if we were trying to implement, like trying to create our own game from scratch. That would be shaky ground, definitely. But so far, no, there's nothing there. But with weapons, yeah. With 1.13 coming out, with the burst fire mode, which I am so fucking excited to work with. I've already had a look at how it works. I'm going to be, trying to create like some more like weapons with like the burst fire capability. I want to do more bullpups, even though yes, the animations aren't there, but we've put up with the lack of them for now. So I'm not too bothered about that. I want to create a FAMAS. I want to get an F2000 in. I want to get a TAR-21. I want to get like a proper AUG with like the different variants, like the A1, A2, and A3s. I want to get an L85 in there. Got to represent the shittest gun known to mankind. But so we'll want to try and do a lot of really cool weapons, a lot of really cool ideas down the line. Yeah.
I'm excited for it. It actually looks quite interesting. I've never really felt much of a compulsion to play Escape from Tarkov, but this I'd probably give a try to because, Now, what happens if you log out while you're in the play area?
So it's just like DayZ, wherever you log out, you'll log straight back in. There's no issues in regards to that. Obviously, the only issue that we have is obviously when you combat log. That's another thing entirely. Yep. But if you just need to like jump off quickly or something like that, and you just want to get off for the night, you can just go ahead and log off, and that's perfectly fine. Yeah.
Okay. If anyone else in chat has got any questions about this, what were you saying, Marks?
What I was going to say was watching videos of it is totally different to actually playing on the server. Totally different vibe. So you are definitely worth at some stage hop on with Daone if he's available or wants to play or something like that. It's definitely worth going. It's definitely worth going in with a couple of players like his teammates and stuff.
Yeah, I would definitely encourage like anyone who's watching, this podcast right now or on YouTube later on. I would highly recommend you go ahead and you play on the server. As Mark says, watching the video and actually playing is completely two different things. You'll get a proper feel for it. And, we've got a lot of cool stuff that we haven't even discussed quite yet. And, you'll find out once you play on it. But yeah, so you've got to experience it firsthand. Not to sound a bit cocky, but we're onto something pretty good. And I can't wait for more people to experience it. I really can't wait.
If you can, share a link to the Discord in chat as well. and I'll get that off you as well, and we'll put it into the description of the video, because this looks like something, if people are getting a bit bored with DayZ, this looks like it might be a way to spice it up, try something a bit different.
Yeah. Maybe what we need to do is make a DayZ podcast plays Xdk and we all hop on.
Oh, God. Oh,
Oh,
God.
yes.
You want me to embarrass
Oh,
myself?
yes.
The three of us
Yes.
and Don. We'll get him on. I'll mention it after the show. It could be something funny.
It could be.
Mhm.
It actually could be.
pretty good.
Especially if we do it in a hot tub.
Yeah. Right?
Oh mate, don't get us
In
fucking
bikinis?
started. I'll get the best. No, I'm not wearing. I'll wear a mankini. Actually, no, I won't. I'm good actually. But
I think that'd be fun
yes.
though. All of us hop on, play it. You stream
would-
it, not stream it, doesn't matter. Just
Yep.
let 'em see.
Yeah, exactly. It's really good fun. I was playing earlier on today on our second map because we've got two. We've got Flatlands and we've got Pycea Mountain Resort. I got lost in the second map, even though it's smaller. I got
Yeah, I want
completely
to have a look at that
fucking
second
lost.
map. Looks really cool.
It is good. It is good, and it's not finished yet. We've got more stuff coming for it.
Yeah, that's good.
Definitely worth a look, folks. We'll put descriptions, links to the Discord and everything in the description of the video as well. Okay. Now, the Running Man did a tweet during the week, which was actually a very, very interesting read. Let me just bring up. So I've seen a lot of people talking about realism in DayZ and how it's this type of game or another. It was. Did you guys read it?
I hope I was reading something that long.
Yeah, I did read it. Well, I tried to. I tried to read it, but
Yep.
I got a pretty good gist for it. Yeah.
I actually found the basic premise of it to be bang on the money. So many people, when things happen in DayZ, they'll blame it on this, they'll blame it on that. When, if you look back at it, ultimately it comes down to a choice that you made yourself. You chose to put yourself in that position. You chose to drop this weapon or pick this weapon up or carry too much gear, or in the main case of the argument here, talking about plate carriers. You chose a plate carrier which reduces your stamina, but now, it was just there was a hell of a lot to it. I did like his reference to Dean Hall's Law back in 2014. All things being equal, a random interaction between human players will always be more compelling than one that is scripted.
Yeah, too right.
Basically, what he's saying is scripted content's bad.
No, yeah.
Scripted content has its place, definitely, but when you're just playing the game, those organic interactions is what makes it. Like, there's a reason why, even though DayZ is not in it's in a good state, it's not in the best state. There's a reason we all keep playing it, and yeah, sure, it can be like, just having a good laugh with your mates, but there's just something about, you're just on Chernarus, you're just walking through the woods, and then you meet a player, and you could either shoot them, or anything could happen, and it's just brilliant. And there's been many times where I've met people, good friends of mine, because of those kind of interactions, and it's good. It's good. I feel like people lose that idea sometimes, and when it comes to the plate carrier, it's like, I don't really know. I don't really know what I think about the whole plate carrier situation. It's just.
I'm at that part now where, when it comes to the plate carrier, that now there's really not a choice. Yeah, if you don't have a plate carrier, you're at a massive disadvantage. The advantages of the plate carrier right now, and Mark, you're the PvPer amongst us. You're mad not to take one, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. The amount of times a plate carrier saved my life is just insane. It doesn't matter. You always have to, if you see a play carrier, you always have to take it. It will save. I say that every time through my chat when I'm streaming it. It will save your life. And it's done it multiple times on the stream, and I'm always there like, see chat, told you it saves my life. And yeah, they're not too bad in 113. I know there's a lot of controversy about the knockout timing and stuff, but yeah, I think they're kind of all right nowadays. And they're a play carrier, so they're meant to be kind of OP.
I call you a
Yeah, I
pussy.
mean,
Play carriers over pussies.
I mean, I don't use play carriers. Funnily enough, I don't use them. I prefer having the stamina to get around more than
I
the
do
protection.
too. I prefer
if I-
storage base to
Yeah.
protection. But
Yeah,
now
buddy,
go
I
on.
mean-
you have no stamina whether you have a play carrier or not because you're just filled with loot.
Yeah. So it doesn't make any
Well,
difference for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does depend on who you are, because the way that I play is that I need what I carry, and I carry only what I need. As much of a
Same here.
stupid saying that is. So it's like, you know, I was playing an experimental, you know, just a couple of days ago, and I found a play carrier, and I was like, should I take it? Should I not? And I was like, no, I'm just going to stick with my my field vest, because I'd rather be able to get away from a firefight and sneak around them rather than just not having the stamina to do much of anything, because obviously, you know, you have less stamina. So if you're trying to be sneaky and you're trying to like hold your breath, you're not going to have as much. And, you know, that
But a
kind
good
of
way
system
to get
works
around
well
that
for me.
There's a little trick for that. I've done it recently as well. So say you have a backpack which it's full of gear, you have a play carrier, 2 guns on you, whatever. When you get into a PvP situation, you think of an area, say you're at Northwest Airfield, you pick an area at Northwest Airfield where you'll remember, you drop the backpack hidden somewhere there, gives you more stamina back, you'll get over half your stamina back sometimes, and then you're good to go, and you have that extra stamina. And then when you're done with your PvP fights, come back to where you drop your bag, pick it up, and off you go again.
Yeah,
helps a lot.
I've done, I do that only when I'm absolutely no other option and I need to get out of a situation. I'll drop the bag.
Yeah.
I'll carry what I need on my vest or my pants or shirt or whatever, and I'll drop the bag. I can find any other kind of bag. And, you know, the way that I see it is like, they might not have killed me, but they've got some loot, so maybe they won't start chasing after us more.
Yeah.
That's the way
Or
that I do it.
it's another way by keeping like an SMG in your bag, dropping that. So if you do that, you can come back and you know you have a weapon of some sort there, and you might be able to take them out. So there's always that second chance.
Well,
Yeah,
as Paul's saying in this bit longer of his, it's not even just a second chance with a play carrier. It sounds like it's a third or a fourth chance. Now, he's writing there, and I'll need you to verify this, but I do know that one shot to the chest of a Mosin without a play carrier is pretty much you're dead. But he's saying it takes 4 bullets to kill you now.
With a Mosin, I think that depends from range as well. If you're up close, it'll take, I think, 2 at most. If you're at range,
So if someone's got an
probably.
SVD at close range, it's going to be all over Red
dead
Rover
either
fairly
way.
quick. But
If they hit the
Yeah,
shots,
you fucking mincemeat. Yeah,
But
if
I
they
think
hit the shots, you mincemeat, yeah.
the way I think they've balanced that with 113, and we're looking at this from a vanilla point now, is while they have them on zombies, they're always going to spawn badly damaged. So there's going to be less protection there every time. And it's just going to work that way. I didn't get a chance to actually see, did they spawn badly damaged? Because I spawned into the experimentals, I was already geared to the teeth, so.
Yeah, I mean, I've encountered my fair share of the infected on the experimental branch, and those runners are fucking terrifying.
They're brilliant.
But the absolutely fantastic. Like, whoever came up with that idea, fucking done. We needed that. We needed the variation of infected, and you know, I came across the heavy infected with the plate carrier and everything like that on it, and obviously me not really giving a shit about play carriers and not picking them up, I didn't care. I killed it, you know. I don't really mind. Didn't pick up the play carrier, didn't need it. But for those players who value the plate carrier. I can imagine how difficult that might be, because if you don't have a suppressed weapon, what do you do? Like, yeah, sure, you can melee it, but if you've got a screamer nearby and their range is what, like 100 meters, their scream, you've got to be fucking
Something
careful.
crazy, yeah.
And yeah, you've got to be very, very careful now.
Yeah, I haven't encountered that, so I don't actually know how to answer that. But I always say, since whenever they buff zombies, I think it was last update, wasn't it? They buffed zombies. I was like, the meta is to carry either a suppressed pistol or a suppressed SMG until you run out of ammo. You don't always have to carry, but you need that while starting off. If you find one, it'll save your life.
Yeah, you absolutely do. Like in weapons like the Amphibia, or sorry, the Mark II, absolutely valuable now. Like,
Yeah.
I'll always try and carry one as much as possible. I'll pick up as much 22 as I can get, because even though the rounds are terrible against players, well, somewhat terrible, they're absolutely godsend against infected. And yeah, sure, it'll take a couple of shots to the head, especially if they're wearing like the helmet and that. But I'd rather have that than getting absolutely bloody shafted, you know. So.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as Dump said, they only like the plate carriers only protect the vest, and they don't protect anywhere else. They don't protect the sides or the back or anything like that. And you know, yeah, sure, you can tank 4 shots at a distance in some cases. You know, you stumble. You know, once you stumble, that's it. You're fucked. So
I do. That's actually a good question. The stumbling. I'm trying to think.
Because at the moment, if they've kept it the same, the only ones that make you stumble is 308 and the 7.62x5.4. So even if you get like shot at a distance and you stumble, that's more than enough time for somebody to finish you off. Like two players, if they coordinate correctly.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, even with a plate carrier. So
I didn't have a plate carrier, and I did get shot at, and I did end up dying, but I don't think I stumbled. They might have changed that, where it's just the high powered kind of rounds, like throughout, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Which I think is good.
They done that in 1.12 because I think quite a lot of the rounds were doing that at first, but then they changed it. Yeah, then they changed it, so it's only the really high powered ones. So it's good. I like the changes, and you know, of how OP the plate carrier is. I think what people need to take into consideration from the development team is that they are catering towards obviously vanilla. You know, they've got to think about the console players. You know, the PS4 players, the Xbox players, fucking whatever console that they'll put it up to next. But when it comes down to it, console players having the plate carrier, God save for them. PC players, cool, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like, if you've got nothing else, great. But if anything, it's a good reference for modders. So that's the way I think about it.
Okay. This was an interesting little development during the week. The code lock update. What was okay? We'll give people a brief summary. So the creator of CodeLock added a update to his mod where, as I understand it, every time you interacted with the CodeLock, a message would come up in chat, basically saying that to support it, pay here. Now I've got a couple of screenshots of that. So you can see the text up the top there. Enjoy using CodeLock. Consider funding future development. There's a close-up of it. What was the feedback that you received on that one, lad?
Yeah. people weren't happy. People they mocked him for that, and understandably so. Like, I can understand that you want to try and advertise like your PayPal to donate on your your Steam page. I'd do it. I know you guys told me to do it on my last visit on the podcast, so I did it. But to have it appear every single time you use the core lock, bearing in mind, if you've got a base that's got like 15, 20 core locks, I've seen bases that have more, and having that pop up at the top all the time, it's a piss take. And you shouldn't be doing shit like that. If the way that I see it, if you're going to have something like that in game and you absolutely must have it, just have it in the normal like interface. Just there, nothing in your face every single time, being in the way. Just something like, if you like the project, here's a donate link. That's pretty cool. But to have like a notification pop up every single time you use it, it's just like, no. What
was it doing? Every time you use it?
Every single time. Every time. And what I thought was even funnier, and I just found extremely pathetic, is that when people complained about it, he reverted the change and said he's not going to work on it anymore. And it's like, dude, like, how fucking pessy can you get? Like, it's just I can't even fathom the words and how ridiculous that is. And yeah, sure, as people discussed it in the podcast Discord, like Mass, for example, he's one of the fucking unsung heroes of the modern community, in my opinion. Yeah, sure, if you don't have the donations, you might not have that incentive to continue working on your mods, especially if you get a lot of shit. But when people complain about your mod in that regard, and you say, right, that's it, I'm not going to work on it, it's like, dude, just take the fucking hit and just move on. And if you're not going to work on the mod, release the fucking source file so other people can continue it if you're really that bothered. I mean, it's the only decent code lock mod on the workshop. And obviously you've got expansions version. But if you're going to be that much of a twat, then just let other people just work on their own version. Make it better. But I don't know, I have pretty strong views about it.
Yeah, it was he went about it wrong. It's just like, it's putting it straight in your face. Like, so you mightn't realize, but like on these PvP servers and such, where you build bases, we've built bases where on one floor there's 25 doors to get through.
Yeah.
And it spirals around in the big S shape and everything. It's just everything to stop raids happening. If you're opening that every single time, and then you can put these code locks on safes and everything like that as well. So the amount of time you're interacting with these code locks is quite a lot. So you're going to be seeing that every time you interact on those locks. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's not a good way to go about it at all. There definitely could have been a much, much better way of going about it, and a much better way of like saving your reputation, because I'm pretty sure he's a little bit of a laughingstock about how he went about it. Yeah. But it does also raise like another question about money and modders, which is obviously an entirely different fucking topic completely.
Okay, I want to interject before we move off of this topic. You're watching your favorite streamer. How often do messages come up about donations? It's a given thing. Every time someone donates, an alert comes up on screen for most people. Now, the biggest name, Smoke, he doesn't have that sort of stuff come up. But that's the culture that he's created. But 99 out of 100 streamers out there all have messages popping up in chat. If you wish to support, here's a link and all the rest of it. Someone does tips, someone does donate, someone subscribes, someone buys merch. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah. Ads popping up in your face. You go to YouTube. ads constantly popping up through videos. Most videos will have 3 ads in a 10-minute video. One at the start, one mid-roll, and one at the end. I agree he went about it wrong when you consider, like you said, Marks, you've got 25 code locks in your base, plus ones on safes and all the rest of it, everything popping up. But I think it was a massive overreaction. It was a lot of entitlement culture of, I think part of it is that people don't like to be reminded that they should donate to these sorts of things, because it makes them feel bad because they don't. But at the same time, I think it was a massive overreaction, and I sort of understand why, as Dumpgrass says, he didn't remove it because he didn't get money. He got so much grief and shit. That's what made him think not to support it anymore. It was a case of his method was wrong, but the way people reacted to him was just as, if not more, wrong.
Yeah, there was definitely some comments that I saw. They were a bit ridiculous. And as Unhinged said, it's not what he did, but it's how he did it. Like, I'm a modder, I can advocate for modders to get more kind of like attention when it comes to like the financial side of modding. Obviously, it's not why you should get into modding, but at the end of the day, like
but why shouldn't you? Why shouldn't you? How many people started a YouTube channel to make money from it, and not because it's just a hobby or something like that?
There's two separate things here, and I'll explain it to you as simple as I can. YouTube has a monetization program built into it that if you hit these certain goals, you're rewarded with this type of thing. You don't have to get partnered. You can go without it if you don't want to. Steam and modding doesn't have anything like that there. Like it's very difficult to earn big bucks on YouTube. A lot of it is hard work. Some of it is also luck. YouTube has this thing there. Same with Twitch as well, with the partner program and affiliate and all that. They have programs here that when you hit certain goals, you can then start making money from it. Whereas on Steam, there is no program there. There is no monetization program there for modders. So I think a lot of people seem to start blaming the players for not giving them money or donating or anything like this. When I think the focus, and they should be giving their blame to either Steam or Bohemia and asking them, why aren't you helping us in getting a monetization somehow, or getting money this way or that way or anything like that, instead of always giving out to the players because they just don't want to donate.
You're right, and that's the climate that it is. It's like, too many times have I heard people, that talk about like content creators and whatnot. They get the money from modders' hard work. Why don't modders, get money? But it's at the same time, it's like, are you trying to advocate for a program for modders to get paid? No. So why the fuck are you complaining? And it's that climate. It's that climate at the end of the day. It's like people firmly believe that modders should not get paid for what they do, like content creators do. They expect to put in hours, countless hours on projects and ideas to create what they want to create and do it of their own free will because they're nice. Whereas I think that's bullshit, and it's why, like, I advocate for a program. I think I said it on the last podcast I was on, like, where a modder can choose whether they want to monetize their mod or not when they upload it. Steam takes a cut, Bohemia Interactive takes a cut, and obviously there's still a lot of issues even with that idea, because it's like, how do people go about it? How do you pay for it? And it's very, very, very difficult for something like that, because obviously with like when you watch videos, you're just watching it. You watch it for free, and you pay with your time. And you buy mugs, and you pay with your time. You pay with your you pay the advertisers with your retention, and the advertisers then pay YouTube, which then obviously pay you. Just in that example, with modding. How do you get money? You can't watch a modder. You
So
can't just use them. You just can't. You can't
Yeah.
use their mod and slowly gain that kind of like retention. It's very, very, very difficult to go about it in the right way, and it's probably why there hasn't been a proper program in place for it. But maybe if enough people in the modding community that care enough, that advocate for the same thing, they can all sit down together to create the perfect plan, propose it to Bohemian Interactive, and even if it does get shut down, at least the modders can say, look, we have actually tried. So far, apart from the podcast, I've seen little to no push for something like that. And the issue just keeps popping up. It's like, why don't modders get money? Why must they do this? Why must they do that? It's like, I'm sorry, but if you're not going to advocate to solve the problem, why the fuck are you fucking complaining? Like,
there's a lot of smart people in the modding community. A lot of smart people, way smarter than me. They could easily create some type of system or a third-party website or something that where all the mods could go and all be listed up and stuff, and it runs ads off that website. And when you click into a mod, there's more ads on the side. It's like the way YouTube does it, or any other website on the planet does it. You earn money from those ads. Third-party company gets a cut. Well, I'm just saying it as a website just to make it easier. I don't know how it would actually work.
yeah.
But say like the website host gets a cut, modder gets a cut, and whoever else needs to get in there gets a cut. It's all done, and you do it that way. It's maybe they do it like YouTube or Twitch, where there's a certain thing, right? When you hit these certain goals, then you can become a partner to the site, and then you can start making money, and that's how you do it. There's a lot of smart people out there that could easily come up with some kind of concept. Whether again it would work or not, who knows? But
yeah, exactly. And it all comes down to, like, you know, one single person can't do that alone. The modders, especially like the bigger name modders, and you know, I'm not one of them. You know, I'm not like highly regarded as, say, like Inclement Dab or Jacob Mango, Not Banana, and that. But if those kind of people, and I'm not trying to shit on them either, because they're really, really nice people. If those kind of modders, those kind of people came together to try and work with Bohemian Interactive to get that compensation, to get that monetization, so they don't have to do weird, stupid tactics like the code lock mod, I'd say just do it. Just try. Just really, really bloody try. Because in the end of the day, what's the worst thing that can happen? Bohemian Interactive says no. Steam says no.
Well, even
It's
look
like,
at I've got up on the screen that I'm sharing with you guys now. I did a few polls during the week, just to get an idea from people. Yeah, only 42 votes, but should monetized servers pay a fee to the makers of any free mods they use on their server? Overwhelmingly yes. But the interesting one here, should BI set up a way for modders to monetize their mods if they meet a certain criteria, such as X amount of subscribers to a mod and X amount of time it's up for? 50% say no fees for mods.
yeah, but that's a fee. I voted no for that because I wouldn't want to physically have to take however long it would take to connect my PayPal to a certain mod, then do this and that and that. Whereas if there was a way where they could just run ads, there's no fees, nobody has to pay anything, they just literally have to sit on the site. It's the easiest. It would be the easiest way to go about it. Now, again, I don't know how you'd implement something like that. I don't even know if it's possible, but that's your easiest way for it.
yeah, it's like, for example, to bring back up Xdk, me and Kath talked about the whole like modding and money situation. And what we want to try and implement is some kind of plan where it's like the mods that we use on our server, with the money that we get from donations from the community, we put towards the modders, because without them, you know, without their content, we couldn't create our server. And, you know, we want to try and do that. And I don't know if any servers even, you know, do that. You know, a lot of servers make a lot of money, but I don't see, you know, modders get like, you know, a random donation saying thank you for, you know, having this mod for our server, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. And it just, even that, like, that's a poll. It's, how do I explain this? It kind of shows how the current climate is, but the good thing with that is that it can be changed. It really, really can be changed. but it just depends on how much people are really, really willing to fight for it. Because
what's the incentive for
community is-
people to go to a website for mods?
these days, though, that's the thing. It's like when you've got like games like DayZ, you know, you've got the workshop. It's the best place for it,
Yeah.
because you know for a fact that you know the mods that are on there, you know, if there's any fucking fishy business, they get taken straight down. And Steam's got a pretty decent DMCA service, whereas websites like, you know, certain Russian websites, when it comes to mods, I know that they literally steal other people's work and then charge up the fucking yazoo to access these mods, and it's like people fall for it. So it's like, how would you really go about it? And the only way that I can see it happening is if it is done through Steam. But the last time that ever happened was with Skyrim, and that was fucking bad. That was really badly done.
Yeah, I remember
So
that.
it's yeah, fucking hell. So it would really come down to like learning from the mistakes from that and trying to implement something new that pleases at least most people. That's the most difficult part. That's the most difficult thing. But it's good that the topic does get discussed, and it's good that the conversation happens not only on the podcast but in the community itself. And don't get us wrong, there's going to be a lot of people's like modders shouldn't get paid for their time, but at the same time, there's people who argue the opposite. And you know, at the end of the day, it's like modding can turn from a hobby to a career. Just look at DayZ. Just look at what happened to DayZ itself.
And
And then it got bought out by Bohemia and created Standalone. And
the
PUBG.
the thing with the donations part of it is, like, I have a donation link on my streams. It pops up in chat every once in a while. I never verbally mention it because it comes off as begging. I don't. It's there if somebody wants to click on it for any reason, they can do. I'm more than obviously I'm as grateful whenever somebody does. Not necessarily. I don't care if we're just sit and watch. If we're all having a good time, that's fine by me. People who just throw this thing in your face, be like, "Give me money for this mod now," is like, you know,
no, that's
just putting it in your face. It's not the way to go about it. People don't like other people. How do you kind of say? People don't like other people or hearing other people complain about money. If that makes sense.
No.
Like, oh, I have no money. People don't like talking about money. It's rude. You know, I never mention it. Anybody I know never mentions it. And if you start mentioning it, it's just, it gets awkward, and it's just, yeah.
See, but that's always frustrated me. I'm very open. You know, the amount of times I've shown my revenue that I receive from YouTube and Twitch and all the rest of it. Admittedly, mine's small fry, but I just, the thing that ilks me the most is the lack of people. Either they're not doing it, or if they're doing it, they're not making it public and leading by example of showing their support for, like DayZ Devil says, okay, so if there was no mods, would most people still play DayZ? No, they wouldn't. We saw what it got down to, 3,000 concurrent players. Modding reinvigorated the game. I think it's incumbent on Bohemia Interactive to revenue share in some way, shape or form, you know, whether it be a program that they enact, and as revenue comes in, a percentage of that is shared amongst, you know, certain modders who've created a certain element. And I think it's incumbent upon content creators and server owners who are making bank on content that is being made using mods, an onflow of that revenue to the people who are helping support what they do. And they should do it as publicly as possible.
I don't know about
to lead by example.
I don't like that publicly part. Just do it in private and donate, and don't like. I hate that when people are bragging. They're like, "Oh look, I just donated." I can't stand it.
No,
mean-
you don't need to brag about it. It's just the way we do it on the show here. I think maybe it comes across as bragging. I'd never thought of it that way, but we get a bit of revenue come in from the podcast, and nearly all of it goes back out through fucking Patreon and stuff like that to supporting other modders. I wish I could support more. Just letting people, even if it's only that they sign up to their Patreon. Some of the big mods like CodeLock, like fucking community tools and stuff like that. Server owners in their Discords have a list of mods that they subscribe to. So people who are subscribing to that server know that some of that money is going back to the creators. And, yes, they obviously do a lot of custom stuff, but there's a lot of inherent tools like CF tools that DayZ servers could barely function without community admin tools and so on. And I would love to know, but that awkwardness about the topic of money comes up again, just how much money they do receive to keep supporting that mod that they do. Mass had a good comment in the Discord chat that eventually there comes a time, we've all had it with DayZ, where you're not feeling it for DayZ as much as you used to. Now, for modders, particularly when they've got a successful mod like CodeLock, which is pretty much universally used by nearly every base building server out there, when that guy loses interest, what? He should just give it to free to someone else? The amount of time, when you lose interest in your YouTube channel, Mark, are you just going to give it to someone else? No, you'd probably sell it.
No, I wouldn't do sell it. Oh God. No,
but that's on you. But that's a successful channel. Why should it go dormant? Shouldn't you just give it to someone else so they can? No, there's still this whole culture of modders should only do this as a hobby. Should only start it as a hobby, not with a view to being able to try to make money from it. And that's, I know people are probably sick to death of me talking about it, but that's a culture that we need to change. And that culture needs to be led by Bohemia Interactive, content creators, and modders themselves. And server owners, sorry.
Oh, never mind. Sorry, I found it.
Yeah, because that's kind of like what we at Xdk we're trying to do. We want to be public about it. It's the way that I would put it. We want to lead by example. We want to give back to modders, because at the end of the day, Xdk is run by modders. Calf, he's done Nature Overhaul. He's really fucking good at that shit. And then obviously you've got Not a Banana, who, need I say more? And then you've got obviously myself, who's been doing modding for like a year and a half now. And
Dumbgra's mentioning your flashlight mod, mate.
Yeah, I need to fucking finish that next update. Jesus Christ. That was my first serious mod, and it's gained somewhat good traction. And it was probably one of the hardest things for me to get into. Lighting in DayZ, just as we know, it's not that good. It's not ideal, but I worked around it. And at first it was like, I want to do it because I want to create shit. All I care about is making stuff. But once you realize you can make money off of it, obviously you're going to be like, well, why not? And it wasn't until like I said, the last time I was on the podcast, I even started putting my PayPal details and whatnot on there. And I've done commissions from them till now, and I've admittedly made a little bit of money to help us keep going. And at the end of the day, it's like, during these times, of all times, even just like £5 or £10 or just something, it means a lot to a modder. It means a lot to somebody who spends hours of their day, if they've got nothing to do, it's something for them to do. And if they can get some kind of a thanks, even just verbal, even just a message saying, yeah, sure. And it's even if they say, if someone says, look, thank you for making this mod, which I've had, but even just getting that kind of £5 or £10 donation, it goes a long way. And like I said, Mass, he's one of the unsung heroes. He's done so much stuff for the community in the past couple of years, and when he asked me to rework his guns, I was like, yeah, that's completely fine. And he was like, he was worrying about paying us. And I said, no, I'll do it for free because at the end of the day, I don't mind not getting paid for something like this. But if someone was to approach me and say, I want you to do this, I'll be like, right, okay. I want to get paid for it though. But the difference between that is like, how would I say it? It's like the difference between them two scenarios is that somebody is expecting a product for the end user, and the other one is just wondering about it, for lack of a better way to go about it. Plus, also, Master's a good friend of mine, so I don't mind. I owe him a favor. So, but yeah, it's kind of like it's how would you put it? It's very wobbly ground when you get to that kind of topic. But what matters is how many people are actually going to push for a better change, because it is going to benefit modders, might piss off some players, but at the end of the day, it's like, if it wasn't for modders, then you wouldn't be playing DayZ.
Yeah, everything's going to piss off. Something's always going to piss off someone. So it's, if the overall majority are happy for it, then,
Yeah, it's like, it's like, like yourself, Max, you could create like the absolute best video on YouTube ever created, and you'll still piss somebody off.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I know. I've seen your comment section sometimes.
Yeah. Pretty rough.
Yeah, so it's like you've got to have that kind of, you've got to have that healthy discussion about it, and it's just whether people are willing to listen. And I hope people do start to listen. I hope people do start to try and make that kind of change themselves. But they do it in a way that is not intrusive, and they do it in a way that doesn't fuck up your reputation. Obviously, going back to the whole code lock situation.
What was Modder's feelings on him doing that to his mod? Like, what did the modders just...
From what I saw, people were laughing at him in the modders Discord, but there wasn't actually that much discussion about it. People were laughing at him, and some people said, well, time to make my own code lock mod. And that was it. That was all the discussion was. There was more of a discussion on the podcast Discord than there was in the modders Discord.
Right. I'm assuming there was probably more chatter about that privately with modders than there was publicly.
More than likely. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised, but it's generally well accepted. It wasn't well received. So
it's just sad. His implementation was pretty poor. Even I will 100% admit that. A message popping up every time. If it was every 20 or 30 minutes or so. I know they could set up a website or something like that, Marks, but there's just no incentive. There's already PayPal links in the description of most mods. Most people don't even bother. I would say at least 50% of players have probably never even been to the workshop. They just use the launcher, and the launcher tells them what mods. And about the only time they go there is when they need to unsubscribe and resubscribe to get the bloody thing to work. Or to say, fix your fucking mod.
Fix your fucking mod. Yep. I want that on the shirt.
The thing is, you can't. There's no way you can make people go to the workshop. They don't want to go to it. They don't need to.
Yeah.
That's it. And
that's why I say it comes back to Bohemia, content creators, modders, and server owners to lead the charge on this. Getting people to part with $1 at times is a very, very painful thing to do. But I'm wondering whether we could do a charity stream.
I think it's mainly up to be Bohemia. Like, it's the modders saved their game. We'll be frank, the modders saved their game back years ago, and it should be up to them to reward the modders for doing something like that.
I mean, definitely.
I would love to see them buy some mods of people, successful mods, and implement them into the game.
Or hire some people. Contract people.
I mean, I remember when in Clement Dab he had his spotlight interview with yourself, Boydie. He said that Bohemian Interactive offered him a job, but it would require him to move there, and it wasn't even permanent. So it's like, if Bohemian Interactive want to say thank you to modders and hire them, they even need to go about that properly, because moving to a different country that English is not their prime language, you don't know their language, and you're only there for like what, 6 months, a year at that, and then you left on your trot, you left to go back home. That's a piss take. If you're going to offer someone a contract to work at your company, to work on DayZ, for example, you can either let them work at home. Like that's the best way to go about it. Make up some secure channels so you can transfer content. I know he's been, helping out for free on the side from what I remember from his spotlight. But, Bohemian Interactive, as much as I hate to say this, they don't really appreciate DayZ and the content creators, like modders, even like YouTubers and Twitch streamers for DayZ too much, especially the modders. And
Dino's in chat saying that Frankie on PC pays him for every single minute of the mods he makes for his new videos.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Dino.
Oh, right, okay.
But that's someone like Frankie who can afford to do that. He's making between 20 and 60,000, euros a video.
Yeah.
He can afford to give a couple £100 here and there for mods and stuff like that. But for the smaller guys, or even people who only have 100,000 subs, stuff, the YouTube money isn't that great unless you're in millions of views of the video, like someone like Frankie, for example.
Yeah, exactly. So it's,
and it's good that he's doing that, because he is making a fortune. So it is good that he's giving back, and he does, support people that way. But
yeah, and like I was saying, when I was doing Twitch streaming, like, only donate if you're in your means to, and that also applies to modding. You shouldn't make yourself short just to pay somebody else for content. Like, you should never ever do that. And you shouldn't have to be made to feel bad for not donating to a modder. But it does generate the question. It's just like, if you are able to donate to a modder and you want to say thank you, then why not send that like a couple of pounds or euros or dollaroonies or whatever, There's nothing wrong with it. And it does go a long way. It really, really does go a long way. But
I think as well, modders, and I know some have it and some are good, but I think some modders need to, like, when you go to their Twitter, for example, or even their Steam page, for example, to try and find this donation link, it's nowhere to be found half the time, or it's right down the bottom. It should be the number one thing on the Steam page, and it should be linked in their Twitter bio. There's no harm being there. Just put it there. And
okay, I'm gonna show you guys something. I don't think I've ever received a single donation through this, but this is maybe a workaround that they could do. Let's hope I'm not logged in. Fuck me. I always forget which one I am on this. Give me a second.
It's hard.
I've seen the thing with the SoundCloud thing. I don't know if I can find it. I see if I can.
Okay. This is when you click on my SoundCloud link. Right there, front and center. Maybe Twitch could, not Twitch, maybe Steam could add something like that to workshop profiles. So with the mod, just a little donate button so that it's nice and front and center. The person links their PayPal to it so that it's there as a way for people to support it. You look at YouTube. YouTube makes it very easy for people to monetarily support their favorite creators. Twitch makes it incredibly fucking easy and attractive. But it just, I don't know.
Yeah, like having something like, see, that could be really beneficial for, how would I say, like, a verified workshop users where they can they can link their their PayPal information with Steam, set up tax information and whatnot, because obviously you're going to make money from their service and whatnot, and you could potentially make a lot of money. Having something like that, so you can go to their workshop page and you've got that button right there where it's like, okay, yeah, you can donate however much you want. And there you go. It's that would be a good way to go about it. And Bohemian, it takes cuts. Steam takes a cut. You obviously take the largest cut because obviously the money's going to you. And having that as an alternative to, say, having to pay for a mod, even that would be a step in the right direction. Just something more better for modders to set something like that up.
Yeah.
And I apologize for scratching my eye constantly. I'm going half blind here.
That's all right.
Oh God, fucking hell, Jesus Christ! But like I said, even that would be a good step in the right direction.
Yeah, anything would.
Ike, thank you, mate. I was looking at something else, but Ike just donated $100, so we'll have to find a good mod to donate to. But I was also laughing at his comment, we could pay in Dorkcoin. Please tell me there is a cryptocurrency called Dorkcoin. If there is, I think I would actually buy some, just purely because of the name, Dorkcoin. Someone find that for me.
No, there isn't. As far as I know, there isn't. Let's fucking make it, boys.
Oh, that's hilarious. But thank you so much, Ike. And also thank you, Dazzy Boy, with the 11-month Prime Breeze sub as well, mate. I really do appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, look, it was a fantastic discussion, and it's such a complex issue that, yeah, well, it's good to see people talking about it, and I would love to see more people being more open about supporting modders and so on. Just with the work that they do, it's amazing for DayZ. Keeps the game going, and yeah, let's create a DayZ coin, hey? Yeah. God almighty. God help us all. I was on Reddit the other day and saw a interesting. I know Reddit gets a lot of shit, but I do enjoy this sort of stuff. Just a simple little, we talk about a lot of the complex stuff, like the previous topic that we just talked about. But at its heart, it was really good to see this. Which are you? Wanderer, builder, friendly, dickhead, toxic PvPer, casual PvPer, friendly neighborhood bush Wookie. Overwhelmingly, the majority of people said Wanderer. Sorry, Suka, what? Someone should study SAG, AFTRA, BMI, ASCAP for how to go about this. What's that? Is it a Screen Actors Guild? BMI, I think I've heard before.
Doesn't BMI tell me how fat I am?
Yeah, BMI. Yeah, that's the one. Oh, you win the internet today, mate. You win the internet. That's awesome. Suka, that's a good... can you make sure you're in the Discord, mate? I'd like to explore that further. Broadcast Music Corporation. Okay, yeah. But yeah, I just enjoyed this little poll. Nice little simple silly one, but which one do you fall into, Marks?
Casual PvP.
Not the one above it?
No, I'm fucking terrible at PvP, so I'm going to go casual PvP.
I don't know, mate. I've watched a few of your vids, mate. Yeah. If you're terrible, then I am fucking F tier.
I'm not the best, but I'm not the worst either. I'll give you that. But no, I'm usually, when I PvP, I only PvP or like KOS stuff when I'm in a military area. So for my trainers, it's anywhere from Vybor up. So from Vybor to Tistine, around that area. I don't care who you are, you're getting shot. But anywhere down below that, I'm usually friendly.
I voted Wanderer. I'm not as friendly as I used to be. I used to be the dickhead who'd run up to everyone, even in military zones. Now I'm just more a wanderer, and I will appraise a situation on its merits. What about yourself, lad? What would you describe yourself as?
I'm a mix between wanderer and the casual PvPer for sure. Down south and pretty much in the freshy areas, I'm like really friendly. I talk to people, I'll have a laugh, fucking scream and shout at them and do stupid shit. But when you're inland, that's when you get your A game on. That's when you become like a hunter. That you keep your eyes out on the prize and shit like that. But it does depend on who you play with. Like one group of friends, the way we play, we just go to Berezino. We find a car battery. Oh god.
Ike's on fucking fire tonight. His comments in chat. Is there an option for which fucking map am I on type of player? Because that's me.
Oh,
that's your own fault though, Ike. Ike has a fucking server of his own for every map. I'm certain he just spins a fucking wheel and clicks on whichever bloody one. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, we are. But yeah, the way that me and my buddies play, we go to Berezino or whatever, we find a car battery, we go to the PA system and we just fucking blast music. We create our own little radio station, see how long it takes for people to come and kill us.
Yep.
And it's just stupid shit like that. It's great. It's brilliant.
No, definitely it is worth following the DayZ Reddit. And even if you don't want to follow it so much, I've got a bot set up in the Discord that captures every post that was put up, so you can just see what people are talking about. And some of the discussions on there are quite interesting. And occasionally you just get a nice one like this, which is just, a nice little simple, silly little poll. Wobo put a new video out. New infected types.
Yes.
It kind of comes into part of what we talked about last week with the whole, is too much information being leaked. But I like Wobo's videos because I don't have a lot of time. For a guy who's a stay-at-home dad, I've got stuff I've got to do around the house, stuff involved with researching with the podcast, playing games myself. I don't just play DayZ, as you all know. I play Scum and World of Warships and, DayZ as well, and a few streams here and there. But I like it because it enables me to keep up to speed with what's happening. And we talked about it briefly before, but these new infected are the bomb. Absolutely the bomb. Particularly the runners. Really you mentioned about how good the runners are. DayZ Down Under, my favourite server. They've been using PVZ mod, and they had runners on that for ages, and you never get fucking used to them. Every time you see a zombie run, you always think, has it aggroed on someone? They just add that little heart rate boost that makes DayZ so special.
Yeah. And it's good that finally, after all this time, we are getting that variation infected. The game needs it. Infected for a long time, they've been looked at as a joke, as a hindrance. And, considering, sure, DayZ is a survival game, and the original intention wasn't really about infected, coming from Dean Hall himself. The way that it's got infected, you might as well fucking utilize them properly. And it's such a relief that the DayZ devs, they're actually going about it right. Every single encounter you have, you got to think, okay, is this going to be a runner? Is this going to be a screamer? Where am I going to go if it is a screamer? Like, am I going to be able to de-aggro them if I hide in this house? And, in the future, are they going to get in the house? You never know. And it's great that they're going through this direction. And, they might be taking inspiration from the PVZ mod. I hope so. But having all of these different variations is a big fucking plus. And I welcome that change. I absolutely welcome that change.
I haven't seen anyone or any negative comments about these new infected models and types. Have you, Marks?
Nope. All been good so far.
Mhm.
Overall,
Yeah, it's
1.13 is being received quite well, isn't it?
Yep. I was
it
ready
seems to be.
for. I was ready for my comments on the update videos just being all out war, but they were surprisingly all like very, very positive.
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. And like I said, stand up patch so far, apart from obviously, not being able to force feed people disinfectant, that's fucking stupid change. But yeah, overall 1.13 seems to be like a good patch. And there was the whole drama between Renamans and Minder about the whole blocking thing. But they've changed that in the recent patch, where like the blocking is now directional, so which is great, which is a really, really nice change, I think. So overall, like I said, good patch. Can't wait to see more updates for this experimental before they push it to stable. I'm glad that there wasn't too many changes to ballistics like there was in 1.12. Because if they did go about that direction again, I would be very, very disappointed that they didn't take the advice of like having deathmatch experimental servers. But really good, really, really, really good push so far.
Yeah, I have no complaints on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Dumpgrass saying you bitched on Twitter about infected.
Oh yeah, that was the first day. Yeah, I even mentioned that in the what we call it chat, admin chat as well. They were just, I think, what I was. So my problem was I was in VMC,
Right.
and somebody else was shooting, and I was stood. You know those barracks, and they have the shower blocks in them. I was sat in there, crouched, listening to this guy shoot, kind of locate where he was, and every zombie still aggroed on me instead of going to the player that shot. And so I had to move, and I was like, that's because I was standing still, I wasn't moving, which was the part which really annoyed me. And so I was like, all right, and then I ran towards the player was, and he was in the camo building at VMC. And constantly, you notice it in this one, I think zombies are more vicious or whatever, especially the military zombies. Just every second, it was just a slap, slap, slap constantly. And it got me killed in the end because the zombie kept hitting me. And I had to turn around in the end and shoot the zombie. I had the M16 on me. And I had to shoot the zombie in the end of it. And as I was shooting the zombie, the player in Camo VMC came out and then killed me because the zombie was just constantly hitting and hitting and hitting. Even though he was shooting and making all the noise, they were still coming towards me.
Yeah, that's
right
really weird. Yeah, that's obviously broken. I've had that happen to me a couple of times. Like, you're with your mates. You're like the zombie will clearly aggro on somebody else, but they'll run towards them, change direction, go to you, even though you're not moving. It's really
the worst thing about zombies.
Yeah, I really hope that they do work on that in either this patch or in 1.14. But yeah, like I like that the infected are difficult. On my first brush with 1.13, I came across a police car, and there was 3 infected there. There was 2 of the police officers with the stab vest, and 1 prisoner, and I got killed. Yeah. I got thrashed, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Mm-hmm. So the next time I came across that event, I was like, "Right, I've got to fucking think about how I'm going to do this," and I managed to stealth kill them. And managed to get myself like a handgun with like some spare bullets, no magazine, but it was like, great, I've got a weapon now. And it's that kind of thinking which makes DayZ a much more enjoyable game in my eyes.
Yeah, like 2 zombies now in this update will take you out in under 30 seconds, I think. and you'll be out knocked out at least.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy.
Loot
And
has
that
been
actually reminds
removed
me-
from Green Towers. Apparently. What the actual fuck?
I never checked them anyway.
I always
To be
check them.
honest.
You okay,
Never
lad?
checked.
It's such a stupid change. There's no need for it. Like, holy shit, people were pissed that there's no loot in the apartments. Why the fuck are you restricting more loot from the watchtowers? It makes no sense. It like how do I put this? Servers have proved with all these like highly PvP servers where like loot is like raised to the fucking maximum, like 500% loot or some shit like that, that the CLE can take it. But for some reason, and I'm not well versed in it, maybe there is a perfectly valid reason, but nobody's shared it with me. If someone has that information, send it my way. I'll change my opinion depending on it.
Okeana
But
seems to have a good response in
But it's-
reply to that there.
But
Elkiana,
too
yeah.
much loot spread in the
Yeah.
towers. It's like I'm sorry, but in my experience, every single time I've looted a green tower, there has been at maximum 2 loot points on there. 2.
Yeah.
Compared to houses which have like 5 or 6 in some buildings, you know, like in the barracks or stuff like that, and it's like, what? Like I just don't get it. I just do not understand that change. I think it's a silly change, and they should revert it. Hello, Utah.
Yo,
Hey, Mr.
I just-
Utah.
Hey.
So,
I just
Mr.
can't-
Utah's jumping in. He's a bit time poor today, guys. But he reached out to me with an update on his live action series and said he was going to be making an announcement. And I said to him, "You're more than welcome to come on the podcast and do it here live with us." Love the flano, mate. It's a bit fucking cold down south.
yeah, it is. Flanos are the best, man. They're
Every
my
time I
favourite.
see you, mate, I swear you get more and more handsome. Look at that hair. Look at that hair.
Look at that boy. Nice.
How you guys going?
Good, mate. How's yourself?
Doing
How's your
all
Sunday
right,
morning? Cold?
Yeah, it's nice. No, it's not too cold. It's nice and sunny today. It was Sydney's in lockdown, so it's a bit shit. But we got 2 weeks of this crap, so yeah, you know.
Just
it
to
is
put
what
it in
it is.
perspective,
Not
folks, Australia, in Sydney, they've had about 80 odd cases of COVID. No hospitalisations, no deaths, nothing like that. Just 80 cases of COVID. Bang, we're in lockdown. 6 million people in lockdown.
It's pretty stupid.
We've been in lockdown 2 years now, so
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
2 weeks ain't too bad.
It's perspective for sure. Obviously the UK was a lot worse than here, and I think they're just trying to get on top of it before it gets crazy. But
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a smart move. It's a smart move.
yeah, is what it is. But yeah, I won't waste too much of your time. I basically I reached out to Boydie. Last time I was on here, I was speaking about the episodes and the films we've created, and you guys obviously know that they take quite a lot of effort and time and money and all that kind of stuff. And we love doing them. However, the unfortunate news is we have to put a pause on the series until we can secure further funding, because I can't bear the financial burden personally. It's if anyone's seen the behind the scenes, you'll see how expensive it is.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And how much
That's-
gear is there, how much there's $100,000 worth of gear there. We had to hire a place for 4 days. That's costing a couple of grand.
What is it, about $2 every 1,000 views, Marks?
It depends. About 3.
Yeah. So what, you made maybe $380, $400 from episode 1, half that episode 2, and Yeah, you're probably spending that on one fucking piece of kit alone.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a good lens will cost me, $5,000, $6,000.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's really unfortunate because we really want to keep going with it, and we don't want the community to put any money in because it's not their problem. You guys have been amazing, and you guys have supported us, and a big shout out to especially to people like Lax and Boydie. They were the ones that started this thing. Well, Boydie is the one that started this thing, so he gets the credit for that. And yeah, it's a shame. I've reached out to DayZ officially multiple times. I've been in contact with Scott and DayZ, and I thought something would come to fruition, but unfortunately it hasn't. So yeah, that's basically the news there.
I was very disappointed when the last time we had Scotty on, and Boydie, you asked him about Mr. Utah and stuff, and the response that we got is, "We'll send him a few more T-shirts," or something like that. Is what they said, and I was like, "That's not what we wanted to hear at all."
Yeah, and look, that's fine. They can do whatever they want.
Oh yeah,
And that's not on Scotty. That's on people above him.
No, yeah.
I'm certain if it was up to Scotty, he would do something. He's an amazing bloke. I've got so much respect for him.
Scotty's been really nice and helped out with the retweets and the t-shirts and the games, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, we had a good little relationship forming. It's nice. But yeah, like you said, he's just a fish in a big pond full of sharks.
Yeah.
Look, you only have to look at the 20th Armour anniversary to realise how little they like to spend money. They shared those photos of the 3 officers and how they were celebrating, and oh my god, it looked like something out of the fucking Office. Just with how you just all these staff just standing around, a couple of them wearing an Armour shirt and an Armour cake. No posters up in the background and celebrations and stuff like that, but they made it out like it was some big rock show presentation, and I'm looking at the photos going, half those people look like they just want to die on the inside.
No, Scott's been quite nice, and the Mr. Utah team is has been approaching other games, major games, indie games, and we got asked to send out some quotes and that kind of stuff. So what we did will not go. It probably won't go to the grave. What we created and the hype that we created just with those 3 episodes is quite cool. So we're looking to take on new games, basically.
I mean, it is an absolute shame that the higher ups couldn't pull through. A lot of people in the community who's been anticipating the continuation of the series, they are going to be disappointed. But for what you created, fucking well done to you. Absolutely fucking well done to you, mate.
Thank you.
And I absolutely look forward to your next work, and hopefully in the future, obviously, with projects like this, maybe it can come back. Maybe it can have just a one-off episode or something like that. Obviously, providing you get the funding. But like I said, can't wait for your next work, and it's great that you have been open and honest about your whole process. And the reality is that stuff like that, it does cost a lot of money. It really, really does. So yeah, it's fucking unfortunate.
Yeah, it costs a shit ton of money and time is money. We all know that. And with the main beneficiary not ponying up, it's just impossible. It's too much for I'm a regular bloke with a regular job. Like I'm not making zillions of dollars, so I can't fund this stuff. So yeah.
No, of course.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. Yeah, it is the line that they wouldn't do something. It just seems, I don't know. It seems like Bohemia themselves are getting bored with DayZ. Like, I think some people mentioned in the 20th anniversary thing, they were like, they didn't even really want to talk about it, or they just seemed really bored, and it's kind of
disappointing. That's the vibe I got. I joined right as they were talking about DayZ, and it was almost like Yeah, DayZ, the unwanted stepchild of the family. We have to show it some time, but yeah, we just wish just go away. Hurry up and grow up so we can get rid of you.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
there's some amazing games out there though, that would be that would really benefit from
Oh,
a little
yeah.
series
Oh,
or
yeah.
even a one-off
Yeah.
even a one-off kind of film. And to follow on what you were saying before, is we'd love to come back to DayZ if there was a little bit of money and just do like, say, like a 30-minute film, just on a totally different scene, could be a different map, could be a different actor, whatever. But yeah, come back and then kind of reignite that a little bit later if there's a little bit of money or something. And even if that money comes from us being successful on YouTube, that's the whole idea is for us to be able to create these films. It's not just to be able to create one game, it's to create lots and help the gaming community. We're not just targeting the
You know what you need to do, mate? With your movie production, skills, what you need to do is you need to get a harem of hot tub streamers and set them all up under the Mr. Utah banner. And the money that comes in from that, you can use that to fund whatever you want in your pet projects, mate. Just have, or like you could. I reckon you should start off with Lax.
I should be.
I think you should start off with Lax. Turn Lax into a hot tub streamer, and he can be your cash cow. Your little piggy. Make it all the big bucks. Get him in a mankini. We'll get a little DayZ logo mankini, and he could be the first one. And maybe Marks could start off your Irish branch.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Might as well. Give me something to do.
Oh God, give me strength. Oh my lord. So just out of curiosity, go on.
No, you go, mate. You go.
All right. So out of curiosity, are you able to kind of like reveal what kind of like indie games you've been looking into creating like these films for?
I can't say the ones that I've contacted officially because I have NDA signed with them.
Okay.
The ones that we potentially would like to do it on, I personally would like to write something on the forest. I think the forest would be really cool.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
I think also they seem to be a pretty cool company. I've had a look at their background and they seem pretty down to earth. And they sold a lot of copies as well. I think maybe Valheim could be quite cool, just in terms of probably a comedic series.
Yes.
Probably not serious. I think the forest would have to be quite serious or quite scary.
Yeah.
I mean, God, there's so many games, isn't there?
Among Us?
Among Us, yeah.
Oh.
There's, Yep.
Please, no. Please not Among Us.
No, I reckon it could make for quite an interesting series. A bunch of people on a spaceship all fucking trying to sabotage and work out who's sabotaging and something like that. And you could maybe do it with a comedic twist on it. But there's so many games. And look, if you've got any ideas, one thing I know about Mr. Utah is he will listen. Like Mark's made suggestions on changes he should make to his videos, and he went in and he did that. He's open to ideas.
That's right.
He loves to communicate. He's a smart, fucking good-looking, handsome catch. Have you got a missus?
Yeah, she's asleep right now.
Oh,
okay, ladies, he's off the market. So, but he's a very, very smart bloke. But he's also very keen for ideas and feedback from the community. So if you've got any ideas, any suggestions, any contacts with games and stuff like that, mate, check out Survive Icarus as well. That's coming up for a launch in August. I think that's part of the thing as well, mate. You need to try and tie it in with the game developers themselves so that your stuff ties in with when there's expected hype around a game as well. Stalker, that'd be a good one. Stalker.
Mhm.
Off group, another cool one. That'd be really cool.
Oh yes.
Yeah, there's really some incredible games.
Raid
out
Shadow
there.
Legends.
They've made enough money to pay for it.
Exactly.
Oh god.
This short film is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Now introducing Raid Shadow Legends, the movie.
Exactly.
Oh Jesus Christ! Yes, please.
And also anyone who's you know, everyone, a lot of people stream and a lot of people watch streams, but a lot of the people who are watching, they might be musicians or something like that. And if Mr. Utah's team is fully equipped to create whatever you want, really. If people want music videos and stuff, just reach out. We can do that sort of stuff, and we just like to make things, really, to be honest.
Mhm.
So it doesn't have to be under the Utah label. It can just be, we can just come out and do stuff.
Yep.
Have a good time. And yeah, I mean, I'm going to post something on Twitter, I think Monday morning, Australian time, just for the community. Say thank you, and I'm going to put a link to this. I don't know. Will you have this uploaded by Monday?
No, definitely not.
Okay, so I'll link it. I'll link to the VOD, right?
Yep.
And
I'll
just
try
let
and get you the
everyone know.
timestamp for when you came on.
Yeah, and if
so I can link straight to that.
If people want to know more about why we're pausing the series, then they can come and watch this, and they'll understand a little more, get a bit more context.
Mhm.
And also follow the progress of you turning Lax into a hot tub streamer.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he seems to be doing that himself. He's doing really well.
Oh, he's killing it.
He's doing really, really, really well. I saw a comment on episode 3, and it was like you sir got fucked by the algorithm or something like that.
Yes.
Because we were talking about
it blows my mind, mate. It blows my fucking mind that you've got 160 on the first one, and this last one's only got 8,900 views or whatever it is. It's just
where is it? Where's this
you can only do so much, but I don't understand how these have not gone viral when there's still despite what people say, there's still a market for zombie related stuff. Marks, you were going to say?
Oh yeah, like it's even the same with gameplay videos on this game. There'll be sometimes I'll upload a video. It happened a few weeks back, and it just tanked completely out of nowhere. And it was like 10 out of 10 out of all the videos I've ever done. The worst video I've ever uploaded, and there's nothing you can do about it. Absolutely nothing you can do about it. You just have to leave it go. And it is like you look at it and you're like, God, it's just kind of demotivating seeing that, but. You kind of have to push through it, and it can be really annoying at times.
And the amount of interaction you get on the videos as well, that should help bump them as well. But it's just, I don't know.
It's just one of those things of YouTube. It gives and it takes away. But what matters is that content is there, and it's a testament to like the dedication for your team. You had the idea, you've gone through with it, and at the end, it didn't really pan out the way that everyone wanted. But at least you can say, "I've done this," and you're going to continue on with more stuff. And I got a lot of respect for you, dude. Got a lot of respect for you.
Yeah, thank you, man. And that goes straight back to you guys. I got a lot of respect for the community. You guys have been, I mean, Boydie knows when it really took off, not so much when the prologue came out, but after I'd released episode 2, episode 1 went crazy, and then I was on like every stream, and it was just fucking went bonkers. And the support was just unreal. Everyone loved it. Smoke was all over it. He was showing it on his channel, like did it for like 3 days or something. Which to us was like, obviously in terms of the DayZ community, that's about as big as it gets, really. Unless, of course, what's that bloke's name?
Frankie?
No, the one that's like kind of boring to watch, but everyone loves him.
Don't say who. Don't say who. We don't need more drama.
Shroud.
God, no.
No, it's not, no, DayZ, just Shroud. You know, we had to, anyway,
Shroud.
whatever. That's just my opinion, man. Yeah, so no, it was really, really cool, and yeah, everyone just went nuts for it. So it was just it's really cool. And Scott shared everything and retweeted pretty much everything we needed to, and that was super helpful for us as well. I think one of the Twitter videos had like 25,000 views or something.
It's crazy how much a retweet from the DayZ Twitter helps a video
Yeah,
grow. Like I've
absolutely.
noticed itself when they retweet one of mine, and it explodes. Some of them don't, but most of them will do, and they'll just explode overnight. Whatever. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you guys have any games that you'd like to see? Or anyone in the chat?
You know, and I know you've reached out to them, so I can't say
Yeah.
my
of
one.
course. Yep.
Red Dead Redemption.
Yep, Red Dead would be very cool for sure, especially in the Australian desert.
Mm.
I would particularly like a your own spin on Fallout.
Yes, Fallout would be fucking awesome.
Because thinking about it, story wise, we know all about what happened in the States, but elsewhere, there's not that much information, so your imagination could just go fucking wild when it comes to it. So,
the only issue I see with Fallout would be a lot of special effects would be required just for a lot of the critters in there. PUBG would be another one maybe. And a good thing with PUBG, Pong. Mark Older, I'll pay that one, Pong. But PUBG would be a good one with Asian audience as well, because it's massive. It is massive in Asia. And if you were to have subtitles for it as well, get done, you could find quite a big market for views there. My advice to you would be go and check the Steam charts and see what games are popping. And then, I'm happy to discuss with you the feasibility of some of them. But I'm a bit of a, I only play a few games. I'm certain there's other people out there who could give you feedback on that as well. Maybe do a poll on Twitter and, tag the games and also look at what's coming up, upcoming releases. That's going to generate some. That's going to generate some hype for you.
I know there was a big YouTube channel that used to do stuff like that for games like that.
It's probably called Corridor,
Corridor, and then there's Rocket Jump.
Oh, he changed his name. It's
Freddie W used to do those back
Freddie
in the day.
One.
He done ones for Battlefield 3, I think, that they paid him to do, that were on like TV adverts and stuff, which was really cool back in the day. That Battlefield would be cool.
That's what we want to get to.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
A good mob to reach out if you were going to look at doing something with PUBG would be, what's their name again? The guys from New Zealand who do the comedy skits. Oh shit! I just recently went through and created a second YouTube account just for my own personal videos, so that I've got the podcast one separate from my personal. But yeah, they do a whole pile of comedy skit videos about PUBG.
One video that Corridor did that I love is the GTA VR one, where they had Trevor, Stephen Ogg himself, actually in the video.
Yes.
That one was fantastic.
Viva La Dirt League.
Yes, I remember that one.
These guys make some quite funny videos about PUBG. Definitely worth a look at. But they don't just do DayZ; they do other games as well. And Yeah, look at the views they're getting. They've got 3.32 million subscribers on their YouTube channel. So even if you don't reach out to them, but just look and see what they're doing right, they're that sort of they're pumping out the videos as well. They're probably not doing the high production level stuff you're doing, but it's working for them.
Yeah, one of my mates said, he said maybe the high quality stuff is not correct for YouTube, and I thought that was an interesting opinion. I was like, oh yeah, maybe it's too much.
Yes, it can be, because YouTube favors quantity, and that like 10 minutes kind of like time for your YouTube video, and you get paid more so, which is why there's a lot of channels who upload every single day, and they're really successful. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's how you want to go about it. It's like, do you want to get popular quick, or do you want to create some solid content?
Nah, for us it's all about
it's
for us it's about making really good shit.
There was a comment a lot in the videos, mate, was people said, put this guy in contact with Netflix and stuff like that. There was one comment I read there. I've never seen someone so successfully recreate the feel of a game. And the quality showed. I just don't think it was appreciated enough by YouTube as a whole. Individuals appreciated it, but YouTube as a whole didn't recognize the quality you were doing. Yeah, and unless you get picked as a YouTube original series or something like that, they're not going to promote it that much. Everyone knows that the trending tab on YouTube is rigged.
Yeah, I honestly don't know anything about YouTube. I just use it as a platform for the films, and it kind of just it's where I am now. I'm thinking Raft would be pretty hilarious for a game.
If you do Rust, you've got to get Stimpy as your main actor.
Oh god.
Rust would be a Rust video.
I just don't know if you could handle the thumbnail required.
Have you thought about Death Stranding?
I don't know what that is. Let me look it up.
Oh, that's a good game. It's
I'm
it's
not a huge not a huge gamer myself, actually, funnily enough.
Oh, right. Okay.
The history behind the DayZ series is I used to play OG DayZ back when there was zero epoch, none of that, and it was impossible to find guns. It's like 15 years ago. Nah, it's 12 years ago maybe. And you had to go up to deer stands to find CZ. What were they called? CZ. The hunting rifles.
The 550s or the 557s?
Yeah, the CZ 550s. And I think Barnes were like the only ones that like spawned them. And like AEST 50s were at helicopter crash sites were impossible to find. That's the DayZ I remember. And then when I started this series, obviously Standalone had been out for like 8 years. And I just said, oh, well, I might as well base it on Standalone because that's the current version. But for me, for us, it was just making films. It was just picking something commercially successful that people liked and turning it into another medium that people could get their satisfaction out of. You get a satisfaction out of playing the game, but then seeing a recreation of your game is another facet where you can be like, whoa, that's really cool.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So yeah, that's I don't know. Death Stranding's got some pretty high rating.
It's it was very well received. Hideo Kojima, Norman Reedus, stuff like that. It's got a really, really good story.
Oh yeah, it looks awesome.
Last of Us.
I would definitely.
They're making a movie of that though.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Are they? Never heard.
Yes.
Of it.
Yeah, I think Tom. That big English actor's in it.
Tom Hardy.
No, not Tom Hardy. The guy.
Middleton or...
Yeah, that one. I think it's him. I could be fucking completely off my head here. It's Death Stranding. It looks really cool, actually.
Mhm.
Oh, it's like
I would
sci-fi, right?
Yeah. I would suggest you watch some videos about it, because obviously, you're not a gamer, so I wouldn't expect you to like spend a whole lot of your time playing through the game to understand it. But there is a lot of videos out there that details the story, and you can get a good vibe for like the atmosphere and the feeling of the game through the videos.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a plethora of fucking games out there, isn't there? It's just
Yeah.
finding the time, man.
Yeah.
Time and the
Oh
money.
yeah.
We were actually lucky for the last episode. So it's funny how we talk about how the episode only got 9,000 views, because this episode is by far the biggest that we did in terms of production value. And the 7 seconds of visual effects at the end cost $1,000. That was done in Russia. Like, we had a team in Russia doing it.
Wow.
And,
I don't.
we were so excited to launch that one, and we still love it. Some of us still watch it and go, fuck, this was so, it was, the behind the scenes is fun, man. We had such a good time. Had a makeup artist down there doing all the zombie stuff, and
Yeah, the behind the scenes video was good. I like that.
You really kind of see how it all comes together, and that's not even all of it. There's so much stuff that wasn't filmed. My camera broke. I had to use another camera. And we're lucky we had a backup. Otherwise, the episode wouldn't have gone forward.
So what do we do with the Patreon?
I think it's in the best interest that we probably shut it down. I was hoping to get some advice from you on that one. I'd like to. I just don't think.
I don't think shut it down. I think do an update on there, letting people know and saying you understand if you wish to suspend your payments or whatever. I'm going to keep mine going because I've had more than enough enjoyment from your content that it warrants keeping it going, and that helps support you down the line for future endeavours. Your Patreon is about you, not this series, and you've clearly stated here that you're still going to be doing stuff with that respect. And I like being able to say that we on the podcast support Mr. Utah.
Too right.
Do an update,
Because
the same as what you're going to put on Twitter. Post that. I would probably do it to the patrons first. I'd probably do that today. Just a heads up. This is what I'm going to be announcing tomorrow because they're your financial supporters as opposed to the plebs who just follow you on Twitter. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's best in the long run if you keep that Patreon up, because at least that way, people can see, your progress from nowadays to obviously where you are in the future, and you yourself can see what happens. So it's just more logistical. It makes more sense logistically and just realistically just to keep it going. And if you take the hit from people not being interested, that's perfectly fine. It's still there for people who are still interested in seeing more content from, your team. So,
Yeah, I suppose you never really know how this YouTube stuff works. You could wake up one day and your video's got fucking 500,000 views.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can hit recommended just like that. It's very weird how it works.
Yeah, been there. Yeah. One of my videos has got over 1 million views, and I don't know why.
Is there so people talk about this algorithm thing.
Yes.
Obviously we don't understand it, right? Because it's all crazy coding bullshit that's probably hidden behind a bunch of other bullshit. Is there some sort of magic thing?
No. You need to watch. You need to find channels similar to your own, and you need to study them. Is the only advice that really it works. Otherwise, it's a constant case of guessing. But just looking out there, being aware, things like I've been through with you about checking your own feedback. When people are mostly watching, and then change your video release dates for that same time and day. to get maximum exposure from your audience. There are some basic rules, best times and length of video and all the rest of it to feed into. And there's heaps of videos available out there that will show you. But the best for you is to try and find channels similar to your own and study them and see what they're doing. Even reach out to them. If they're a decent person, some of them will be more than happy to give you feedback.
Cool. Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the most important thing is networking, but also realizing that the algorithm is all about luck. Like that video that I was talking about, that's like over 1 million views. It was on YouTube for a year before it started to like really pick up in views. And one day it got like a couple of hundred, and then a couple of thousand, and then before I knew it, it was getting tens of thousands of views per day and a lot of interactions from people. And I'm like, it's a shit post video. Why is YouTube recommending people this video? There's no point. But it's at the end of the day, it's like once you've got a good network up, and once you've got a good stable bit of content out there, and you've got some good user retention and good like user interaction, then you'll start to notice your numbers starting to come up. I'm pretty sure Marks can like vouch for that.
Yeah. But it's a way like your user interaction, so it's not going to be amazing when you only have a handful of videos up. It takes time and stuff like that, and it'll build, but it really will take time. And it's easier for a person who makes gaming videos on this game to do it because they can upload a video every 1 day or every 3 days, for example, and build and you can do it quite quickly. But when you're making videos like yours that take days to film and then God knows how long after that to edit and do everything like that, it's very difficult to do that. So it's just hopefully
it's the pre-production that takes the longest. I
Yeah.
mean, you're doing a month and a half before you even get out there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Costume designing, script writing, finding the people, finding the time where everyone's available.
Mhm.
Sorry, can't pay you any money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's just it really is a tricky one. I'm trying to like best describe it. It's like,
Well, we
It
wish
will
you all the
take
best
time.
regardless, mate.
No, thank you. It's not a I'm not complaining at all. It's been a great run and we've had a sick time and quite excited to open our horizons actually, and I imagine that there's a few gaming companies out there that will probably watch these series and go, you know what? Looks pretty cool.
a good
So-
reference to have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Definitely.
it's like you said earlier, we can always come back and be like, hey guys, look what we did. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it's timeless now. It wasn't wasted time at all. Not at all. A great
No,
run.
not at all.
But yeah, if you guys think of games personally that you think would benefit from this, not so much benefit from a commercial point of view, but think about it from my point of view in terms of story, in terms of visuals, in terms of community excitement and something that can benefit from that. Nothing that's got tons of money and they've got all the marketing for themselves. Like something that kind of like DayZ, where the community really loved it. I think that's an awesome aspect of the whole project.
Yeah.
Just DM me on Twitter or one of these places, and just let me know if you come up with a game, and I'll write it down, do some research, and I think that Death Stranding one looks unreal, man. Really does look super cool.
It's a really, really interesting IP for sure. And the good thing about the person who created it, Hideo Kojima, he is a massive film nut. He is absolutely crazy about movies. So, if you make something really, really good and he catches attention of it, no doubt he'll probably sing your praises.
Yeah, it looks like, just looking at it, we'd probably have to build the environment in Unreal Engine and then green screen into it, I reckon.
Yeah, more than likely.
To save money. We can do that, and then I can't fly to Norway to do it. So it looks
No,
like it looks
not
like
a
Norway.
chance. Yeah.
Like I said, mate, best of luck and keep us updated on whatever you decide.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for all your help, guys.
Wish we
Thanks
could have
for
done more.
helping me out a lot. You did more than enough, mate. Thanks for
Unfortunately, there's
helping
only
me
so
out.
many AWOLs and Lax Hawthorns in the world, mate.
Yeah, exactly. And big shout out to AWOL for that. You know, he really helped out on that one, and so did Lax. And shout out to the whole community for getting behind it and sharing it and singing praises. But hopefully we'll be back. And anyone watching, I'll send a Twitter release probably tomorrow morning, maybe Tuesday morning, and yeah, we'll go from there. We're still there. We're still part of the community. We're still going to be coming to streams. We're still hanging out. You know, I made some really good friends, and I want to keep those. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
hell
pretty
yeah,
much
man.
it.
You're always welcome in this community for sure. Like everything you've done is just mad props to you.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you very much. Well, I won't take up any more of your time. I'm sure you guys got stuff to finish up. So much love, and we will talk soon.
No worries,
Much
buddy.
love to you too, dude.
Sounds good.
Okay. See you later.
All the
guys.
best.
See you later.
See ya.
Bye.
Well, that's sad, but yeah, it is what it is.
That is heartbreaking. That fucking sucks. But it is reality. So, but he's still continuing on with the project. So, like I said to him, gotta give him a lot of props for that.
So yeah, the loot from the Green Guard Towers. I agree with you 100%, lad. It's just stupidity, absolute stupidity. I understand like Derleth. I highly respect Derleth. I understand and probably agree with that was the motivation for doing it. But to me, it comes back to what the running man was talking about. It lessens the amount of choice. You know, yes, some players will gear up just by looting the guard towers around them, but that's their choice.
Exactly. Like,
they're restricting
DayZ
choice, and that's a bad thing.
DayZ is about choice. You have to have that. And the more you take away that choice, it starts to become a slippery slope. It's like, first there was the apartments, and back when obviously that change happened, it was kind of understandable. It was 0.63, it was beta, it was completely, everything was completely brand new. Not too much was known about it. It's fair enough, but as time's gone on, the CLE is improved so much better. Like I said before, there's so many servers out there that the loot is absolutely fucking ridiculous. So unless it's something to do with consoles, I don't know. But at the same time, I just feel like it's an unneeded change. And if we could get some clarification from the dev team about the real reason why they've done that would be great. But I just think it's a pointless change. There's no point in it.
And Derlep and DDU are saying that they've had loot spawning in their servers in the apartments, and it doesn't break the economy. Yeah. What do you think, Marks?
I am assuming if I were to guess, I would assume it has something to do with console performance. Otherwise,
I didn't
I
even
don't see
consider
why
that.
they'd remove it. So I'd assume it's something to do with that, but who knows at the end of the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, exactly. It's all up in arms, and until we get some actual clarification why such a strange choice was made, then obviously it's all up in arms. We can all speculate as much as we want, and we can all criticize it as much as we want, but until we get that proper information, then fuck knows.
Up there with removing force feeding disinfectant and bleach for me, but anyway.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Like that's a weird change. It's like you're trying to put a detriment on one particular playstyle. That's not on. That's not on. People should be allowed to play DayZ in the way that they want to, as long as it's not being a cheating little bastard. Why restrict gameplays? Like, there's no point. There's no point.
Now, I've got a poll going on Twitter, yet another one. But we're almost into the back half of the year now, folks. So I've actually been thinking a bit about whether we should do the podcast awards again. Last year, the Twitter word limit and all the rest of it. I was a bit limited. It was a bit of a shit show last year, to be honest, and I did cop some shit for it. Basically, I took on too much myself, didn't plan it through enough, and by the halfway to the latter part of the awards, I was starting to panic. It didn't really show that much, but inside I was going, this is a fucking nightmare. I didn't leave myself enough time. It's not coming out the way I envisaged it. And it wasn't as well done as normal. So I'm asking for input from the community as to whether we do them again this year. What do you guys think?
I'm 50-50.
I would honestly say learn from your mistakes from the last time and improve on it for this year. Because, with the podcast, one of the really cool things about it is that it's able to reflect on the past year. And there's been so much stuff that's been discussed and obviously will be discussed. And there'll be so many high points and low points. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that reflection on it. You've just got to learn from your mistakes from last time. So I'd say go for it. I'd say bring on the 2021 awards.
Marks?
Yeah, I'd agree with Lad. You got people like, I'm here this year now, Lad's going to be here as well. Ask us for help if you need it. We'll host stuff if we need to. There's no problems. You just got to ask, and we'll do it, and we'll crack it out if you want. But
yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
we'll have a bit of a chinwag off air about it.
Yeah.
And the winner is, because maybe I'm a bit over ambitious, but the way I envisaged it was not how it turned out. And I really wanted to do something that the community could get behind and enjoy. And majority of people are saying yes, do it again, but it needs to be something that is worthy of this community that we're part of, and try to be the voice for. Okay. Sorry, get on the wrong box.
I have to leave a bit early. An IRL thing has come up.
No worries, mate. I hope everything's okay.
Everything's fine. It's nothing too serious.
Need to take a shit, do you?
But not that. No.
Get a shit bucket.
I'll get one. I'll install it into my chair.
Yeah, that's the idea of it.
It's the true gamer game.
But appreciate you all being on as usual. I'll be out here next week as usual.
Hell yeah.
And
no worries, mate.
It's been lovely talking to you, Mark. You take care of yourself. You have yourself a good weekend.
I will do. All right. I'll chat to you all later. So
see you, mate.
See you later, bud.
See you later.
Yeah, Dumpgrad got the reference. Battlefield buddies. Battlefield and friends. Yeah. Just going to quickly recover. We had it suggested, I think it was Luke mentioned it about PUBG actually have an experimental server on Sony, on PlayStation. And he was like, well, if PUBG are doing it, why can't DayZ do it? And it was actually pointed out to him that you can do it on Sony, but they want to do extensive testing, and their testing takes weeks before they will allow it to go up online. So, when you consider that most experimental patches of DayZ last a few weeks before they go live, it's just not viable. So really just wanted to recover that again, that it is on Sony, why DayZ doesn't do experimental servers on the PlayStation platform. So, yeah.
Yes, Sony's always been like kind of stickler for that kind of stuff. It's like even with like modding on console, I remember when the like Fallout 4 modding became more prevalent for like the consoles, Sony was basically saying, nope, you're not allowed custom assets. Everything has to be from the base game and only the base game, whereas Xbox is like, we don't give a shit, have fun. So yeah, Sony's always been a stickler for that kind of stuff.
Now, Mod Spotlight. I was looking on the store before, and I came across one from Max Cross's workshop. Immersive placing. That sounded quite interesting. And it was on the popular list for this week as well. This mod adds keys which allow you to quickly drop and place items to exactly the position you want. Default X, but you can easily change it in settings. Press key to drop item in your hands at crosshair position. Hold key to show placing hologram. Press use key to place item at hologram position. You know, for those people who love their bases, this is a great little mod. And I'd love to see it in practice. It's got 4 stars, but yeah, it's just quite a clever little idea, I thought.
That's actually really, really fucking cool. I spoke to Dumpgra about it like when I first started modding, because they made the the wooden crates were like placeable and stuff like that, and I was like, wouldn't it be really cool for like role play servers to just be able to like put stuff wherever you want, like just switch the modes to do that. And it's brilliant that someone's actually gone ahead and done it, and that's fantastic. I mean, it'll be really, really cool for those roleplay servers, and probably is really, really interesting for those highly PvP servers where, like, you know, they want to put like weapon or like a whole bunch of weapons on a table for like a screenshot or just whatever. But that's fantastic. I love seeing shit like that on the workshop. It's new ideas.
Yep.
And you know, I might have to look into that one a little bit more, see how they did it. But that's I love that. I love shit like that. It's great. Sorry, I get a bit giddy when I find out about stuff like this. It's great.
I see so many mods on Steam that make me think, why couldn't the dev team do that? Yeah, Dazzy. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, mate. But yeah, they're doing the best of what they've got, folks. Content creator mini spotlight. This video, I am a huge Yon of Chinaris fan. This video had me in fucking stitches. Why I don't play Russian servers anymore.
Oh my god. Hey man, what the fuck?
I'm going to leave it there. I can't play the rest because he uses a copyrighted song, which, as I've mentioned many times before, you can check on a YouTube video and it shows it before. But the song absolutely fits what happens. I urge you all to go watch this video right now if you want. I'd love you to stay and watch till the end of the podcast, as always, but I urge you to go and watch it. This guy is fucking good. This video had me in stitches. It's borderline Stimpy material.
Oh dear.
In fact, it is Stimpy material, and he's on the receiving end of it. It is, and make sure you go into the comments and read the comments of the video as well. Someone actually translated something that was said to him, but it's why I don't play Russian servers anymore. I've never played a Russian server. Have you?
No, I. It might sound a bit horrible to say, but I stay well the hell away from Russian servers and in like Asian servers and whatnot. I always stick to EU or US, and on the rare occasion Australian servers. It just doesn't interest me.
Australia, represent.
Oh, yeah, bro. Part of the Commonwealth. No, but yes, no, I don't play Russian servers at all.
Yeah. Our community spotlight, we've already talked about it. Xdk, can you share that Discord link again, mate?
Yes, I certainly shall.
Get in there, folks, and watch this space for a AU-NZ server coming soon, hopefully.
There you go.
I recommend, if you're looking at one here, I recommend Sydney for the server base, because it's got the direct line from overseas going into Sydney. And pretty much Australia is fucking massive. So it's fairly centrally located as well for the majority of the Australian population. Brisbane to the north, Melbourne to the south, Adelaide to the southeast, Tasmania further south, and best ping for everyone.
Yeah, no bother at all. I'll have to tell Kev about it when I next speak to him.
Yeah. Now, this I thought was great from the dev team, taking to Twitter to ask for feedback.
Mhm.
I like that they added a funny option, but at the same time, a funny option does detract from the actual science of what they get. But even some of the comments was, it's a great idea to get feedback from the community via Twitter. Because not everyone goes to their forums, not everyone goes to Reddit. As many sources as possible for getting the information from. So, yeah, great to see them still engaging with the community in new and wonderful ways. So,
It's really, really nice to see that they are taking that kind of approach. Scott, he's doing a really, really bang up job with the public side of things for DayZ. He's doing really, really well. And, considering how 112 was, it's probably really important that the DayZ devs start to actually listen to the community a bit more about stuff like that. Modded servers, they probably obviously won't care, but, at this point, the updates are more important for the console players. And, even if they can get their feedback across, that's fantastic. That's what I really like to see.
Mate, we're almost done. Any individual highlights for you?
Honestly, I've been sleeping pretty much all week after I found out I got the job, so I'm afraid not. I will have to actually say, Wellington again. Like I said the last time I was on the podcast, he's been doing really, really good work with his screenshots, with his wallpapers.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing really, really, really good stuff. Really, really nice.
You got a link?
Shots overall. He actually just put up a tweet just here. I shall post it in the. Nope, I don't want to inspect Twitch. Nope. I've just posted it in the chat for Twitch. But I also. Oh fuck! I just had it there for a second, and it's gone.
No, you posted it.
Oh yeah, so. Yeah. So I was gonna say, I also want to give a shout out to Asmund for a new DayZ tips image. He used one of my images.
That was going to be mine. I love my dream. He's probably my S tier person to get on the podcast as a guest. He's just such a selfless person who does so much for the community and never asks, won't even let me send him a fucking coffee mug because he reckons it'll get broken in the fucking mail.
Bless.
Mario said the same to me, actually, by the way. Mario from the animation and AI stuff said the same. It'll get broken in the mail. Don't worry about it, mate. Just two guys who are very selfless.
Damn right. Like, Asmund, I remember, he's started using my artwork for quite some time for a couple of his tips.
Yep.
Images, and that was holy shit, that was a big thing for me, because ever since I started being public with the artwork, he's always been there. He's always been there to give us support. So it's always nice for him to do something like that, and he's always doing a fucking bang up job. Absolutely fucking bang up job. So props to him.
Folks, thank you once again. Lad, how was your first episode, mate?
No, it was great. It was really, really nice to be able to talk about all these different topics. It was a shame that we couldn't get our guests on. I would love to have heard about them, about their viewpoints and opinions on some of the topics that we discussed.
Look, we'll try to get them both on again. Obviously, something come up for Dr. V. I know he was quite excited about coming on. We had discussed it, so I hope everything's okay, Dr. V. Same for you, Red Freedom. And we will look at trying to get you both on into a future episode as well, folks. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's been absolutely wonderful, and it's great to be part of the team, and I can't wait for next weekend already. It's going to be
brilliant,
great,
mate. Thank you so much, everyone, and we will see you next week, same time, same place. Our guest next week, need to do the big drum roll announcement, is Jad and Gecko Fish.
Oh, Gecko! Fucking yes, lad!
Still got to
He's been an
confirm Gecko
absolute-
Fish, but I've been chatting with Jad about it. So yeah, Jad's an amazing modder himself. And Gecko Fish, well, who hasn't heard of Gecko Fish? Jad guaranteed he could get
Yes.
Gecko Fish for me. So yeah,
Yeah,
fingers crossed.
Gecko Fish, he's been an absolute fucking star when it comes to like Xdk as well. So I'd love to meet him and thank him personally for everything he's done. So fucking top notch on him.
No worries then. All the best, everyone, and we will see you next week. Say bye-bye.
Take care, everyone. Much love.
And ciao for now.